explain. Hello, guys. Hi. Welcome to YouTube channel. I don't know. I haven't posted in a while, so today I'm going to do Russia forms the Soviet Union again. Maybe the Russian Empire. Cause Finland. So today that's exactly what I'll do. Before, I thought the Soviet Union was just Russia and Kazakhstan. I got made fun of about that. But now I know it's way more than just that. Alright. So, it's 2024. The war with Russia and Ukraine isn't going so successful. Because, if you haven't heard, Ukraine's actually pushing Russia behind. So, I'll go ahead and draw in the current borders. Don't mind me. So don't get me wrong, it should look like this, but Ukraine's actually pushing them back like this. So that's really getting that guy right there, him, yeah, he's not very happy. Mr. Russia was very staring at Ukraine. And they say, you better stop before we kick your... So, Battle of Kiev happened again. And so, the tactics before in 2022, Russia used that tactics again. Ukraine gets more and more aid to the point that Russia's kind of like kicked off out of platform. And to the point, Russia's completely kicked out of Ukraine, which really interferes with Russia. And Russia surrenders. And that was the war of the whole beginning of the video. And Russia is colored in, obviously, red. So, Russia says, you know what? We will form the Soviet. We'll get Ukraine later. So, Russia asks their two dearly friends, Belarus and Kazakhstan. I don't know if Kazakhstan's really a dear friend, but I know Belarus is. They ask Belarus to join, and obviously Belarus joins, because it's Belarus. What do you think? So... And they ask Kazakhstan, and Kazakhstan says, no. So this really pisses off Russia, also known as the other guy. Really pisses him off. So Russia declares war on Kazakhstan. And like said, this is most likely not happen. This will not happen in real life. Most likely not. But I don't know. So Russian troops go from Ukraine over to Kazakhstan, and then they begin their little push around here. And then Russian troops begin their way over to the point where they're coming in nearly at all sides. And I will draw in the borders on after a month, and completely your choice if so. And fine. A year later, this is what Russia got from Kazakhstan, and the war continues. This tribute really gets on Russia. Well, America, actually. So, America says that if they continue this war, they'll have to interfere. And Russia says, you can eat my... Yeah. So might as well, America might join this war. But for now, they're just sending aid. And oh geez, the Russians make their way over to the capital, and they have captured. I think the capital is called like I don't know. It starts like an A. That's what I know. Well, they have captured the capital and they keep making their way around. And Kazakhstan surrenders. So this war with Kazakhstan didn't have as much aid as Ukraine because it's not in Europe much. But they were getting aid from like Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan. And a little bit from Afghanistan. And the aid was just like maybe like 10,000 nurses. Maybe less. And that's not per country. That was from every country. They sent like 2 or 1,000 aid. So this is how Russia's looking right now. And Russia is kind of looking forward to making this Soviet. That's not how you spell Soviet, if I'm correct. I don't know. Russia's really looking forward to looking at the Soviet. And they're making plans for the Caucasus. So Russia says Caucasus equal Russia, which they did. So Russia declares war on the Caucasus. I really need to fix the world map, or maybe just a map for Europe and a little bit of Asia. Because look at this, it's a mess. You can hardly even see these little countries right here. Latvia's cut in half. Germany and France borders, I think it's like that kind of. So I think we kind of have to fix this. That is what we will do, and maybe next video. This video may come out tomorrow. I don't know. Well, Russia declares war on the Caucasus, and this really hits into America because Russia actually declared war on Georgia before in 2008. So America says, stop invading because I'm about to interfere. Russia does not give a crap. And they keep invading, of course. They go down Azerbaijan, making their way to... Wait a second. They would never invade Armenia. So Armenia just joins. And then they keep their way with Georgia. Until they've captured every... Are you serious? You thought I wouldn't let Turkey help their best dear friend Azerbaijan? Yes, Turkey is a great ally of Azerbaijan. And obviously, Turkey would help Azerbaijan. But I forgot to say, allies are not indeed involved. Sorry. So, let's look at these. So, these borders around with Russia looks a little weird, but it's a country. Over here, Japan says that South Korea should be them. And Japan better not bring memories. Because old Japan, Imperial Japan. Very great Japan. Great Japan. I am literally coloring everything Japan owned. I think Japan owned a little bit of Australia. I don't know. Imperial Japan. Imperial Japan. Imperial Japan. Everything that is encircled with red was Japan. Was Japan. It was Japan. Very Imperial Japan. Imperial Japan. Well... So Russia tells the rest of the stand countries to join or else they'll invade. And some stand countries join because they're like really scared. Because those countries are Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. And since those three countries joined, Uzbekistan did not join as a joke. These two countries that are physically disconnected from Russia join them. Well, right here, the Turkmenistan has a little baby border. I don't know what I mean by that. I mean, it has the smallest border literally in the world. That's not the smallest border. The real smallest border is around here. That's the it is not with the Vatican and San Marino and anything. It is not, because this one's shorter somehow. Well, those two countries joined Russia, and let me color in this a little bit because it's Russia. And because of Russia owning Turkmenistan, that means Russia borders Afghanistan and shares a longer border with Iran. And that border is quite longer. It's like 3 times its length. And all due to Uzbekistan doing this, they do not border to Tajikistan. So Russia declares war on Uzbekistan and Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan. Wait, is that Kyrgyzstan? That's Kyrgyzstan. Alright. So Russia declares war on them both, and this is actually going to help out Russia a little bit thanks to having Tajikistan and Turkmenistan. Over here in Europe, this really imperils these countries over here, because since Russia's focused on on the two countries down there, they have an advantage since most of the troops are around over here, and they'll just do a great push over here, which they probably will do. So Moldova, Ukraine, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia declares war on Russia. But that does not do so good since Russia owns Kaliningrad. So, oh yeah, Russia has a physical border with Poland now, not a disconnected border. So the first thing here, since Russia's you know what? Since Russia's so distracted with the other countries down here, wait, just hold it. Like I was saying, these other countries were so distracted with the countries down here. Yeah, these countries over here, known as the other Soviet states, they have an advantage. So it all starts with Russia straight up cutting Uzbekistan in half because they have the idea since they're pretty thin. And they do it again over here. So since Russia cut Uzbekistan in half and doing that to Kyrgyzstan right now, this is gonna be really bad for them little countries, obviously, because obviously they're like 20 times smaller. Uzbekistan collapses as Kyrgyzstan, but if you haven't noticed on the other side, just hold it. I gotta color this in. And that too. If you haven't noticed on the other side, over here, Russia was kind of getting beaten up. And it's still going. So, yeah. Oh yeah, Kaliningrad right here. Oof. Pretty dead. Russia just now noticed about this. Somehow, they didn't know about it. So, Russia straight up goes at them. But the thing is, all their troops are like down there. How they're gonna get all the way up here? That's the thing. They will. 'Cause it's winter. So Russia goes really, really fast across the mountains, making their way over here. They manage to get over, and Russia makes their way over here. But the thing is, I have a great question. How did these little countries manage to do this all by themselves? Well, that's the thing. You didn't notice I changed that. America! They were helping them. So America was sending straight aid and a bit of troops and a bit of more troops and a few tanks. And that really helped them out. And that kind of means, I said kinda. That kind of means America's invading Russia. Kinda, don't get mad. And Russia just now realizes this, and Russia get kind of pissed to do this. Yeah, they kind of kicked them out. So these little poor countries has a little disadvantage since they're not getting aid anymore. Thanks to that, they're brutally kicked out. I said brutally. And Russia realized they're invading Ukraine again. And if you don't know, Russia didn't get their land back. They lost specifically around the size of Connecticut. I think. I don't know. Because they don't got Kaliningrad. Because that little piece of land belongs to Russia. Kind of. So Russia says, hell no. They go straight for Kiev. And then they camp Kiev. And then they make their way over to Moldova. And they capture Shunintsev, I think that's the capital. And then they go over from over here, making their way to the capital of Moldova. That's not Moldova, that's Lithuania. And then they make their way back to Kaliningrad. They go over up and capture Riga. And this was really good for the Russians. Because on 2023 and 2022, the Russians couldn't do this. Because they're losing right now. The Russians got all of the Baltics, and they're getting Moldova. And this right here, this really matters. Oh yeah, I had to use them. Russia continues their way into Ukraine. And if you don't realize, Ukraine's the only country that's kind of at war. And if you haven't noticed, Russia has never ended the war with these countries over here. So they continue their pace, going over and over and over, until Ukraine gives up its west. And now Ukraine's just going over for the east. Because Ukraine's dying, sadly. Lamau, if this happens in real life. The Russians surround the Ukrainians, and it's surprising. They couldn't do this, and they finally do. And the peace treaty between Russia and the Ukraine, Moldova, and the Baltics. So let me just quickly draw the borders. So this is the borders now with Russia. And surprisingly, America hasn't noticed much about it. America still thinks that Russia is invading the Balkans. And this is what America thinks. They think that Moldova is still in existence. So is Ukraine. So is Belarus. So as Kaliningrad separated, the Baltics, and these countries right there. So what America thinks is that Russia hasn't invaded Ukraine, Belarus hasn't joined, has a connection with Kaliningrad, didn't take the Baltics, has Moldova, and didn't take the Stan countries. But Russia is technically the Soviet Union, because if you look right down here, why is this little country right here not colored in red? Because Russia still hasn't signed the peace treaty, and it's like that until Putin is dead. The president of Russia finally realizes, and he finally signs the peace treaty, and Russia is now to be called the Soviet Union. And this really gets on to Europe. And yeah, this Soviet Union right here will live on being the largest country in the world. You hear me? New country, Soviet Union. And countries that are kind of gone. And Finland is at risk with kind of be joining Russia, turning into Soviet Union into the Russian Empire. Nothing like that. Well, this new country in the world really shocks other countries, making them feel like to die. And which they did. So the first country that dies is France. Second is Spain. Third is Germany. Fourth is Poland. Fifth is Norway. The sixth is Sweden. The seventh is Finland. The eighth is the Czech Republic. Wow. The ninth is Italy. The 10th is Switzerland. The 11th is the entire Balkans go into water, and the entire world goes into water because they have a big fear of Russia. So the fact of the entire world, except for a few countries, they go in the water. So they're underwater now. This will be the new world right here. Let me just hurry. So this right here is the new world. Have fun.